Well, hi everyone, welcome back to Istanbul Park here in Turkey for race 2 in round 6 of the Ferrari Challenge TropheoPirelli category of cars that are making their way to the grid right now. This the 2014 calendar as we reach the sharp end of the championship. As we can see, round 6 Istanbul, and still to come the World Finals in Abu Dhabi between the 3rd and the 6th of December. All the information at CorsoClienti.com. That's where you can find out all about the championship, the drivers, the stars, the cars, and everything else about the Ferrari Challenge, all at that website, CorsoClienti.com. This is our circuit location then, as you can see, down here in Istanbul, where the weather is very un-Istanbul-like, to be honest. It's overcast. It's remained dry for race day thus far, but there are some heavy clouds looming as we look at the 5.3 kilometer circuit here at the Istanbul Park circuit. The 3 sectors indicated there on the graphics in front of you. All the drivers that I've spoken to absolutely love the circuit. As we take a look at the weather conditions, as you can see, air temperature is 16, track temperature 27. And the grid beginning to form for this, the second race in the TropheoPirelli category of the weekend. Race 1 yesterday was won by Vadim Getlin with Bjorn Grossman and Ezequiel Perez-Companc in P2 and P3. That man that we're looking at right now, Daniel D'Amato, did not finish the race. Of course, there are 2 championships within one here, because there's the championship in the Pro category and the championship in the AM category. Taking the win overall then Vadim Getlin, and then P2 Bjorn Grossman, and P3 was Ezequiel Perez-Companc. But in the Pro category it was Bjorn Grossman, Dario Carzo, and then Constantino Bertuzzi. And in the AM category it was Getlin, Perez-Companc and Strata. The World Finals, the finale Mondiali 2014, is at Abu Dhabi at the Yas Marina circuit between the 3rd and the 6th of December. The final time out for the Ferrari Challenge in season 2014. But ahead of that, it is round 6 here at Istanbul Park as we look at P2 on the grid. Alessandro Vezzoni, the Rosso Corsa Pellin racing driver, who is strapped into that mid-engined 458, 4,400 cc of power about to be unleashed on this Istanbul circuit. And there is our pole sitter Daniel D'Amato, who will be hoping and needing better position finish than he had yesterday, where he didn't finish. His father Renata there just gives him a pat on the shoulder and says good luck. And it's crucial for him because in the Pro Championship he leads now by only by 5 points, because he's on 165 and Dario Carzo is on 160. Daniel D'Amato's non-finish yesterday costing him dear, particularly as in the Pro category Dario Carzo finished at P2. There's Alex Martin then, and Alex's father Rupert looks on, and he's just get the driver coach Barry in there as well. Well done, Alex. There's Raphael Giannoni. Rupert Martin, I was just saying, has only just finished his Copa Shell race. Raphael Giannoni, who didn't do very well in the race yesterday, will be hoping for better things today. Raphael Giannoni then, the Moto Piacenza driver. And they're up on the jacks. That was the Vezzoni car. Here is Martin Nelson then, P5 on the grid for the Europa driver, running in the AM category. The little green at the bottom of the graphics there indicating whether they're AM or Pro drivers in this class. Driver number 90, Ezequiel Perez-Companc, who runs in the AM category and currently leads that AM category on 140 points. His closest challenger is Giacomo Strata on 106, and Ezequiel Perez-Companc finishing P3 overall yesterday and P2 in the AM classification. So he cements his position at the top of the AM classification in terms of points. Okay, Istanbul Park is where we're at. Let's show you some highlights of the area and the circuit right now with our postcard venue. So a quick snapshot there of Istanbul Park and Istanbul itself, and this part of the Ferrari Racing Days event here, where the FXX programs and also the Formula One Clienti have been here, and Marc Genet demonstrating a Formula One car as well for the many fans that are in the grandstands to enjoy this. P7 for Tommaso Rocca in the number 97 car, you can see there. And that the look back at the grid from safety car Dario Carzo, P8. Now, Dario Carzo is one of those on the grid that has taken a grid drop because of the success yesterday. And talking of yesterday, let's take a look at the highlights from race 1. So as the lights went green, then the race was on for TropheoPirelli race 1. It was a bold and ambitious move by Florian Merckx, which sadly took Raphael Giannoni out of the running, and you can see it there from on board with our helmet camera. It was an overtake that was never going to happen. The new Fling liveried car of Giacomo Strata in car number 21, as Dario Carzo made short work of Tommaso Rocca. Daniel D'Amato involved in this with Alessandro Vezzoni, which ultimately was going to take D'Amato out of the race. The points leader not banking any points from race 1. Bjorn Grossman, though, with the Octane 126 team, was on a charge. But he was being hounded by Ezequiel Perez Companc. It was pro driver versus AM driver, as we're on board with Ezequiel Perez Companc, who gets passed by Vadim Getlin in an audacious move through the final turn. And he jolly well did it again on the next lap and got past Bjorn Grossman, who was struggling with a deflating rear tyre. But Vadim Getlin went on and built up a huge gap. In the end, Ezequiel Perez Companc trying to find his way past Bjorn Grossman. It was to count as naught, though, as Vadim Getlin took the win from Bjorn Grossman in P2, and Ezequiel Perez Companc bringing the car home in P3. Grid set then, and a reminder to you, as you can see in graphics, the Finale Mondiale from Ferrari comes up at the Yas Marina circuit at Abu Dhabi on 3rd to the 6th of December. That is one absolutely not to be missed. Abu Dhabi between the 3rd and the 6th of December. Let's get the race started right now. So as the graphics indicate, we're about to get race 2 underway. And here is the Drivers' Championship, the Pro category. First of all, Daniel D'Amato. His non-finish yesterday costing dear in the points. He still leads, but with a margin of only 5 over Dario Carzo in P2. Alex Martin is P3 on 133 points. Crucially, on the grid, Carzo is starting P8. D'Amato starts from P1, so Daniel D'Amato will sniff the opportunity to cement his lead at the top of the Pro points chart. We'll take a look at the AM Championship as well, but I can tell you it's being led by Ezequiel Perez Companc, who's got a substantial cushion of some 34 points over Giacomo Strata in P2, and Alessandro Vezzoni, who was involved in that incident yesterday with Daniel D'Amato, is P3 in the points on 99. That's the way the AM points look then. CorsaClienti.com contains all the points charts and all the information, results from every single round of the Ferrari Challenge this season, season 2014. And already the anticipation for season 2015 is beginning to build as we reach the sharp end of the championship for this year. So it's a pro driver on pole, Daniel D'Amato. It's Alessandro Vezzoni, an AM driver, P2. And row 2 then sees pro driver Alex Martin with Raphael Giannoni. The Moto Piacenza AM driver is P4 on the grid. That rounds out the front 2 rows for this 30-minute race in the Ferrari Challenge TropheoPirelli category, as the safety car gets away and the cars will follow on their formation lap shortly. Martin Nelson goes from P5. Ezequiel Perez Companc will go from P6. Tommaso Rocca, the Rosso Corsa driver and AM driver at that, is 7. P8 is Dario Carzo. Then we see Hedman. Alexis Di Bernardi is 10. Then Bjorn Grossman, P11. Vadim Getlin alongside him. And then on row 7, P13 is Bertuzzi, and then Giacomo Strata goes from P14 as the cars are away on their formation lap now through turn 1, where we're seeing 1 or 2 mistakes through turn 1. Then it's a long sweep through turn 2 up to the left-hander, which is turn number 3. There's 14 turns on this circuit. It's really challenging. It's quite undulating as well, a bit of uphill and downhill sections, and the section from turn 10 all the way through to turn 12, which includes a little kink that is turn 11, absolutely fantastic. Every driver simply loving it because they're taken almost flat in these 4,400cc 458s. Gives them a real rush driving around there. Alex Martin, who was with us in comms for the Copa Shell race, and there we can see him. And in car number 78 is Martin Nelson. All the social media for you on screen now in graphics. And there's the Ezequiel Perez compact car. And the fans here enjoying the Ferrari racing days here in Turkey, and the Pelin team down there on the pit perch. There's Dario Carzo with Enric Hedman and Alexis Di Bernardi behind. We look back from the Hublot safety car here, and there is the safety car as Daniel D'Amato weaves from side to side, trying to get some warmth into these Pirelli tyres. Desperate to get this race done and dusted before any rain should come, if it is going to. It's interesting, the weather forecast was for rain today, but it hasn't happened. We're on board with Ezequiel Perez compact, who runs from P6 on the grid and wears our helmet camera and gives us some fantastic shots. This is looking back from Bjorn Grossman, who starts from P11. P12, of course, is Vadim Gitlin, who took the win yesterday. This is Alessandro Vezzoni going from P2, and the car ahead is that of Daniel D'Amato, who starts on pole position. Ferrari Challenge 2014 here in Turkey at the Istanbul Park circuit, as everyone waits on expectantly for this race to get underway. And the points championship, just 5 in it in the pro category, 34 in it in the AM category before we head for the final rounds at Abu Dhabi at the Yas Marina circuit. Expect Dario Carso to make headway from P8 on the grid. He'll carve his way through the pack, I would suggest, if the opportunity is given for him to do so. Alex Martin from P3 stands a very good chance as well. He's the second pro driver in the pack. Before it's 4 AM drivers before we get to the next pro driver, which is that man. Center screen now. That was Dario Carso. So 5 pro drivers in the grid. And there is Constantino Bertuzzi, the final of the pro drivers that we've been highlighting in that little sequence. He's the final of the 5 as well, starting from P13. So cars begin to grid up now as they head towards turn 12, 13 and 14, which are the final turns on this circuit, which is a sequence that Vadim Gitlin managed to use yesterday as the safety car peels off, and it's down to the front row to pace the start of this race right now. We throw the lights up to the left-hand side of the screen for you. We have all red lights on as we go green, and away we go. So Daniel D'Amato leads as we expect now. Ezequiel Perez compact runs very, very wide, and there's contact there with Raphael Giannoni. What a weekend he has had. It's been a torrid time for Raphael Giannoni. Ezequiel Perez compact, of course, could take the AM Championship this weekend. Suspect the race stewards will take a look at that little move. Raphael Giannoni having a weekend to forget. It's the second race in a row where he's been nerfed out of it almost. So Bjorn Grossman on a bit of a charge as well. Here we can see it again. Perez compact is out there, and then just, well, just into the side of Giannoni. Giannoni very, very lucky there not to be collected. Let's see it on board from Ezequiel Perez compact's car right now. See some hand gestures from Ezequiel Perez Compact. Well, we'll let the race officials decide what happened there. There was another spinning car as well, probably spinning in avoidance. So maybe a couple of incidents there. We only saw one of them. This is Alexis Di Bernardi, who is P5, and then it's Vadim Getlin who takes to the curbs and the grass as well, and Giacomo Strata in that mix also. There is Vadim Getlin, who's battling there with Constantino Bertuzzi. So D'Amato is leading from Alessandro Vezzoni, but Alexis Di Bernardi. There is P5, Giacomo Strata. Oh, and Giacomo Strata has to use opposite lock to control after a little bit of a touch from Constantino Bertuzzi. And Bjorn Grossman in car number 84 is moving up the order as well. So, as they cross the timing line, it's D'Amato from Vezzoni, from Alex Martin, P3. But it's all fraught and frantic behind, and this is what we're watching as Giacomo Strata runs wide now. That offers up an opportunity for Bertuzzi potentially to get alongside, but Giacomo Strata shuts the door. He runs wide, runs a load of gravel out onto the track, and Bertuzzi is going to go through, surely. You can see the damage at the front of Bertuzzi's car, and Bjorn Grossman, driving for Octane 126, is tucked in behind as well. But this is Alexis Di Bernardi, the Cassel Racing driver. And Grossman is just treading a little bit carefully here, because as these two are fighting ahead, he doesn't want to get involved in those battles, but he does want to get past if he possibly can. And if they're going to come to grief together, then he wants to be in a position where he can take advantage of them fighting. Well, first 3 minutes of this race, something else indeed. So Alexis Di Bernardi we watch in P5. P6 is Giacomo Strata. Giannoni is in the pit lane. And this a replay of the Perez Compact incident on Giannoni. And Ezequiel Perez Compact is not featuring on the timing screen now, so I rather fear that he has had to retire the car, which any ambitions he had to seal the AM Championship this weekend are gone as he thrashes the steering wheel in frustration. Dario Carzo has also been on a charge, and he's up to P2 now. So what's happened to Vezzoni? This is P2 in the Pro Championship. Vezzoni is still there. He's actually P2 on track, but in the Pro Championship, the battle is between Alex Martin and Dario Carzo. Carzo has really driven up the order here, and now he takes Alex Martin. If he can hold on to that and not run too wide, he does make the move stick. So Dario Carzo moves up another place. So Carzo is now P3 on track, but crucially, he's P2 in the championship. What he really needs to do is to finish ahead of Daniel D'Amato. But Daniel D'Amato is leading this race, and he has a 1.2, even a 1.3, or maybe even 1.4 second advantage over Alessandro Vezzoni. In fact, as they cross the sector timing line, he has 1.6 over Alessandro Vezzoni, and then a little bit further down the order, in fact another 2 seconds down the order, is Dario Carzo. So Carzo has got to drive the race of his life now to try and get on terms with the on-track P2 driver Alessandro Vezzoni. Fastest lap comes from Daniel D'Amato, a 2 minutes, 0.758. Fastest lap we've seen from Daniel D'Amato, and he's just delivered a fantastic Sector 1 as well. So D'Amato is on a charge here. Alessandro Vezzoni some 1.6 seconds behind him. This was the Dario Carzo move on Alex Martin for P3 in the race, but crucially for P2 in the Pro category for him. And Carzo just able to hold on, didn't want to run off the curb and onto the AstroTurf containing an awful lot of water, and it's very, very slippery. So we're seeing this in replay. So Giacomo Strata. His onboard camera. This is Daniel D'Amato then, who rounds turn 14 and heads for the timing line. with 24 minutes done. So the times then, last lap, 2 minutes, 0.905 for D'Amato, 2 minutes, 0.837 for Dario Carzo, who is P3. So he is catching this man, who is leading the AM category in this race, Alessandro Vezzoni. But he is lapping a full 1.1, a 2:01.161 from Vezzoni last lap, a 2.837. 2:00.837 from Dario Carzo. So Carzo is on a move here and on a mission. You can see the gap is opened up to Alex Martin already of jolly near 2 seconds. Bjorn Grossman is up to P5 on track. Constantino Bertuzzi. As we see, the battle for second position in the AM category is between Bernardi, Alexis Di Bernardi, Giacomo Strata, and also Vadim Getlin. Henrik Hedman in the number 10 car, who is running in P10. And they're all queuing up behind Alexis Di Bernardi now, including Giacomo Strata, Vadim Getlin, and Hedman Nelson Roca as well. Rafael Giannoni managing to keep the car going. That move by Ezequiel Perez Companc, as there was contact between him and Giannoni. As Giacomo Strata now, Vadim Getlin will be fancying his chances with some overtakes that he made yesterday in this place. Well, Alexis Di Bernardi's got the measure there of Giacomo Strata, as Vadim Getlin now lines up Giacomo Strata for a move potentially into turn 1. So Getlin to the outside of Giacomo Strata. He'll try and dive up the inside now. But the momentum that Giacomo Strata carries through is sufficient. In fact, Vadim Getlin under pressure now from Henrik Hedman. He could lose a place here. Hedman has got the momentum and is in the right place for the next turn. So Henrik Hedman moves up a place to P9 now and gets past Vadim Getlin, yesterday's race victor. The incident involving cars number 90 and 96 is under investigation, being told. That was involving Ezequiel Perez Companc, the AM Championship leader, and Rafael Giannoni. Ezequiel Perez Companc is not running. The car is done and dusted, so his chances of sealing the AM Championship this weekend are over, and that means that chase will continue to the Middle East, to the United Arab Emirates and the Yas Marina circuit, which is where the World Finals for Ferrari's Challenge Series and for all the Ferrari challenges around the world all heads to the finale mondiale between the 3rd and the 6th of December at the Yas Marina circuit, Abu Dhabi. Dario Carzo has got past Alessandro Vezzoni. We've not seen that. Hopefully we'll see that in replay. Carzo is ahead of Vezzoni. And that's a replay of Henrik Hedman getting past Vadim Getlin. But what we've not seen is Dario Carzo getting past Alessandro Vezzoni. So Dario Carzo now P2 and is lapping consistently quicker than Daniel D'Amato. So with 2 pro drivers, P1 and P2, on track. So the Fling livery on Giacomo Strata's car, a new instant chat type application, Fling. Giacomo was telling me all about earlier today. He's managed to find his way back past Henrik Hedman. Hedman, Getlin, Nelson, and Giacomo Strata ahead of Henrik Hedman, indeed has been for some time. He's still not able to find a way past Alexis Di Bernardi. You can see the lights being flashed by Giacomo Strata in a fit of frustration. But Alexis Di Bernardi is driving a reasonable line. It's down to Jacques to find a way past him. And at the moment, he's being denied. But the race being led by Daniel D'Amato with Dario Carzo P2 now, and Alessandro Vezzoni is P3. So Dario Carzo did manage to get past Alessandro Vezzoni. We didn't see that live. And now Giacomo Strata once again tries to line up Alexis Di Bernardi, but issue Giacomo Strata has is, of course, that he's being hounded too by Henrik Hedman. And there is the Hedman car. Giacomo Strata in every single wheel track of Alexis Di Bernardi ahead of him. So this is the replay of Dario Carzo getting past Alessandro Vezzoni. Thanks to our team for throwing that replay in. Vadim Gitlin runs a bit wide there, and that offers up an opportunity for Martin Nelson. Martin Nelson's going to have the superior line running into turn 1, I think. Indeed, he goes through and past, but still Giacomo Strata. Oh, and yes, he does, because Alexis Di Bernardi runs wide. So that allows Strata through, and that also allows Henrik Hedman through as well. Being denied at the moment is Martin Nelson. Vadim Gitlin in all sorts of strife in car number 72, as he ran wide as well. But the pressure that Alexis Di Bernardi had been holding off proved too much in the end, and he ends up losing 2 places because both Giacomo Strata and Henrik Hedman go through. So now that Giacomo Strata has been released from Alexis Di Bernardi, he can make his way up the order. P7 at the moment for Strata. He's got Constantino Bertuzzi is next in his target sights. Dario Carzo, meantime, at the front, is still lapping consistently quicker than Daniel D'Amato. There's 16.5 minutes left to run in the race, and this was where Di Bernardi ran wide. And that was a gift, not only to Giacomo Strata, but also to Henrik Hedman, who was able to go through. And now you can see how Hedman and Strata have opened up a gap over Alexis Di Bernardi, who now gets passed by car number 78, driven by Martin Nelson also. So Nelson now up into P9 and Di Bernardi down to P10. There's Vadim Gitlin, who will fancy his chances at getting past Alexis Di Bernardi. Interestingly, Vadim Gitlin's pace today in comparison to the race yesterday is seemingly quite subdued, but Vadim Gitlin, another Kessel Racing driver, does now get past. He's being tutored, of course, by Sergei Chukhanov here, Ferrari Challenge champion of the past. And Alexis Di Bernardi now down to P11. Drivers of car number 1996 are reporting to the stewards after the session. That was right at the beginning when we saw that contact between Ezequiel Perez-Compang and Rafael Giannoni. And now Vadim Gitlin, well, he had to brake to avoid contact there with Martin Nelson. Was going for a move, but it wasn't really there for him to take. And whilst all this is going on, slowly but surely, Dario Carzo is beginning to reel in Daniel D'Amato. Margin is 2.1 seconds, and Carzo taken 3/10 out of D'Amato on the last lap alone. So just under half the race left to run, 14.5 minutes. And here is our race leader, Daniel D'Amato. A super slow-mo of Daniel D'Amato. Takes quite a bit of curb, and there is Alessandro Vezzoni. Now, that was a replay from much, much earlier, because now Vezzoni is not in that P2 position. It is, in fact, Dario Carzo who is P2. We continue to watch this battle here, and Vadim Gitlin once again lining up Martin Nelson. And this time Nelson's going to have to yield, or is he? Now this is where Vadim Gitlin had loads of success yesterday by just taking audacious moves on the entrance to turns, particularly around turn 14. That, to be fair, was around turn 9, and he made it work. And this is the sequence of turns 12, 13 and 14, where now Giacomo Strata is under pressure from Henrik Hedman. Hedman not quite close enough. He might try and just get a little bit of a toe off the back of the Strata car. Don't think it's close enough to do so, to have a go into turn 1. In the standings then, in the AM category, it's Vezzoni from Strata, from Hedman, from Gitlin, because Vezzoni on track is P3. There's Vadim Gitlin, yesterday's overall race winner, who's down there in P9 at the moment. And Strata is just not able to shake off the attentions of Henrik Hedman. Beautiful livery on the Hedman car, that's for sure. This was Vadim Gitlin on Martin Nelson. Nelson runs wide. And a replay there as the back end of Henrik Hedman's car steps away from him. This is our race leader, Daniel D'Amato, who is now really being caught by Dario Carzo. Now, bear in mind, going into this race, Daniel D'Amato leads the pro category by just 5 points over Dario Carzo. Carzo needs to finish ahead of D'Amato, and he knows it. And the gap now is down to just 8 tenths. He took another 5 tenths out in the last lap, did Dario Carzo. This is going to be fantastically fraught to the finish, I feel sure. D'Amato had a disaster yesterday with a non-finish. As they cross the timing line now, the heat is on. There you can see just what the margin between the two is. And Dario Carzo is driving like a demon at 2:01.324. His last lap. D'Amato's at 2:02.425. Dario Carzo really is driving the wheels off that 458 and is making just the odd error as well in so doing. So P1 and P2 on track, and it's P1, P2 in the Pro Championship as well, with a margin to D'Amato's advantage of just 5 points. Whoa! Contact there between Vadim Gitlin and Henrik Hedman. Hedman runs wide. But this is the battle that we are really, really interested in, as Dario Carzo is lining up Daniel D'Amato. D'Amato tries to make his 458 even wider to try and prevent Dario Carzo getting ahead. There's a small mistake there from D'Amato, who is under pressure now. And if Dario Carzo can get the run through turn 11, D'Amato carries more momentum going into turns 12, 13 and 14. This is going to be really exciting. Heavy braking from D'Amato. Carzo will try and get a run out of turn 14 to be right on him down the start-finish straight into turn 1. The back end steps out of Dario Carzo's car, and he's lost too much momentum. As you can see, D'Amato quicker on the last lap, but of course they're fighting together here. There's 9.5 minutes left to run. And this was a replay of Vadim Gitlin on Henrik Hedman. Henrik not prepared to yield that place, and why should he? But he did have to now run wide. You can see the brakes locking up as Bjorn Grossman and Alex Martin involved in their own battle down there. As Grossman ahead of Alex Martin for P4. And there we can see from on board the Bjorn Grossman car Grossman all over the back of the Dextra Racing all-yellow machine. Bjorn Grossman drafted into the Octane 126 team. Another former star of the Ferrari Challenge, Bjorn Grossman. Make no mistake, Daniel D'Amato just at the moment breathes a sigh of relief. But it won't be the last challenge from Dario Carzo before the end of this race. Of that you can be guaranteed. As Carzo, late on the brakes once again, lines up Daniel D'Amato. D'Amato can afford not to be ragged from turn 10. Now this kink, which is taken absolutely flat, turn 11. Well, this is Giacomo Strata, the incident involving cars 10 and 72, which was Henrik Edman. And Vadim Gitlin is under investigation, as Vadim Gitlin now tries to line up Giacomo Strata. And Strata gets very, very sideways. Gitlin not able to take advantage of it because the sideways 458 of Giacomo Strata prevented that happening. So this is the battle for second in the AM category, as Gitlin now lines up, but as Gitlin runs wide, Giacomo Strata goes through, and so too Martin Nelson. And a drive-through penalty being awarded to Vadim Gitlin. So Gitlin's race goes from bad to worse as he gets a drive-through penalty. Up front, there's 7/10 between P1 and P2. So Giacomo Strata now has got Martin Nelson for company. Vadim Gitlin there in car number 72 with a drive-through penalty to be taken. And the rule is, once you've been advised of the drive-through penalty, you have to take it within 3 laps of that being advised. Well, with a lap time of 2:02, only just 3 laps left in this race. Margin between the front two is 7/10. Raphael Giannoni retires his car. Just see it running down the pit lane from our commentary box position up high in the grandstands. And there you can see it, Raphael Giannoni, his race done and dusted. 2 torrid races he's had this weekend here in Istanbul. Right, for the race win overall. This is the battle that we want to watch between Daniel D'Amato and Dario Carzo. Just over 5.5 minutes left to run. And these two are battling. They're P1 and P2 on track. They're P1 and P2 in the Pro Championship as well. D'Amato takes a look and, well, the move is blocked by Daniel D'Amato. This is going to run all the way to the checkered flag. You can feel that. You see the dark clouds looming overhead as well. Huh, that would just liven things up even more, wouldn't it? A little bit of rain coming out of the sky right now. Don't think it's going to happen, though. So, Daniel D'Amato just under pressure from Dario Carzo, and it was a 2:02.836 last time around from D'Amato. It was a 2:02.570 from Dario Carzo. Carzo is absolutely driving that like a thing possessed as Vadim Gitlin takes his drive-through penalty from Kessel Racing, the Raphael Giannoni car to the left of that picture. Right, 4.5 minutes left to run. And this is the battle for P1 on track and also in the championship too. And Carzo is as close to Daniel D'Amato as he has been now. He dives up right alongside him. Heavy braking from both of these cars. D'Amato just kissing a little bit of the curb. This the long straight from turn 10 through 11, that kink there. And then massive braking into turn 12. And D'Amato lines him up once again. see the brake discs light up. And now he's right alongside D'Amato. D'Amato takes to the grass. We always knew it was going to be fraught and frantic at the end of this race. The crowd are going absolutely ballistic because this is great racing between these two. Daniel D'Amato is leading, but by a margin of next to nothing over the hard-charging Dario Carzo. It's the fight for P1 in the race, but also in the Pro Championship as well. P1 and P2 in the race are P1 and P2 in the championship also. And Dario Carzo is flinging that 458 around like never before. The brake discs light up. This in replay. He got right alongside D'Amato. A bit of bodywork goes flying. D'Amato has to take to the grass. But still, D'Amato just manages to hold off the charge. Big difference in ages between these two. You wouldn't know it though, would you? This is fantastic racing. And we have this plus 1 lap left. And it's now or never for Dario Carzo. And D'Amato is getting just a little bit ragged. Now this is where Dario lined him up last time around, flat out through turn 11, approaching 255 kilometers an hour, then hard on the brakes. Carzo's not quite close enough to be up the inside of D'Amato. Through turn 12 they go now. Next it's turn 13. If Carzo can just get his nose up alongside the car, he might get a run on him through turn 14. But now he is so close behind him, he will line up for a go through turn 1. This will be the last lap of the race. There is D'Amato leading from Dario Carzo. In P3 is Alessandro Vezzoni, who also lights up everything, including the brake disc and the wheel, truthfully. He's leading the AM category. But Dario Carzo and Daniel D'Amato, P1 and P2, are virtually welded together. That wheel is going to weld to the hub as well with the heat that's running through it. So Alessandro Vezzoni, we're on the final lap, and still Carzo cannot find a way past Daniel D'Amato. The fight for the championship. The fight for the championship lead, the fight for this race, P1, P2, between D'Amato and Carzo is reaching its conclusion, because this is the final lap of the race through turn 8, which is effectively 3 turns in 1. Head down towards turn 9 now, this downhill section, as Carzo once again lines him up and just tries to find some space. He gets right alongside him now, but D'Amato has got the better line through. But it's a question of when, not if, as now through this flat out section of turn 11. Well, the last sequence of turns is 12, 13 and 14 as Giacomo Strata is in strife in car number 21. What can Dario Carzo do? I fear not much. I think D'Amato has done enough to hold on to it. They could both end up sideways across the start-finish line, as Carzo is right on him. But as the checkered flag falls, D'Amato takes the win by next to nothing, truthfully. But both D'Amato and Carzo have driven fantastically. I did at points fear, as Alex Martin protects his P5 position from Bertuzzi, I did fear that both D'Amato and Carzo could end up in the grass. But it wasn't to be. It was great racing, so close. So D'Amato, Carzo, Vezzoni, Grossman, Martin, Bertuzzi, Nelson. Then it's Di Bernardi, Roca and Giacomo Strata, I think, rounding out the top 10. And in the AM category, it was Vezzoni, Nelson and Di Bernardi. It'd be great to see Alexis Di Bernardi on the podium. And this was Giacomo Strata. We knew he had a problem. He had an even bigger problem there, didn't he, when both those cars ended up pointing in the wrong direction. And this was as close as it gets. Ferrari Challenge, fantastic racing. So in the Pro category, it's D'Amato, Carzo and Grossman we're going to see, and in the AM category, it's going to be Vezzoni, Nelson and Alexis Di Bernardi. Great racing from Daniel D'Amato and Dario Carzo as well. Brilliant stuff. Well, this Pro Championship is going to go all the way to Abu Dhabi, and it's going to be fantastic. Winner of the AM category, Alessandro Vezzoni, who, in truth, once he'd been relegated to P3, was sort of out on a race on his own, really. He had no one to contend with. And better be happy with that, because everywhere else, there was so many fights going on. Great racing from this man, Dario Carzo. Great racing from the man that denied him P1, Daniel D'Amato. As the marshals wave all their flags, and we bid a thank you to the marshals, because without them we couldn't go racing. All volunteers who do a great job for us. The cars will head to Parc Ferme, and then it will be podium. Time locally just approaching 20 to 5, and thankfully the rain stayed away. There were just so many incidents. Image capture at 400, look at that. Super slow-mo of that Octane 126 car, and now the Giacomo Strata and number 3 car of Constantino Bertuzzi. Detail is absolutely fantastic. Bit of damage to the front of the Bertuzzi car there. And we're into Parc Ferme, and well, Daniel D'Amato will be one delighted man. And there's his father, Renata, there to offer congratulations to his son, who's done a fantastic job. Bear in mind that dad and son were teammates for a long while. They used to share a car. Dario Carzo, well, he couldn't have driven any more out of that car. Absolutely brilliant. There's Bjorn Grossman, who will be up on the podium in the Pro category to take P3. Christian Bertzinger, the boss from Octane 126, and there is Bjorn. And discussions going on there. Daniel D'Amato hasn't even had a chance to get his crash helmet and hands device off yet. He does so now. Race winner, Daniel D'Amato. There's Alessandro Vezzoni. Takes the win in the AM category. Well, just in front of the commentary booth with hundreds of fans, they were all standing up in salute to these drivers. Let's take a look at the highlights now. The tension and the anxiety mounted as the lights went from red to green, and we were away and racing in the Trofeo-Pirelli category. The man with a lot of work to do was Dario Carzo, but contact between Ezequiel Perez Compact and Raphael Giannoni. Raphael Giannoni so lucky not to be collected by a whole heap of drivers. Perez Compact, of course, could have won the AM category in this race, but that DNF not going to help him. On that charge then was Dario Carzo. Needed to make his way through the pack to have any chance of being on with Daniel D'Amato, who was leading not only the race but also the Pro category points as well. The tension continued, but this was towards the end of the race the highlight, as Dario Carzo and Daniel D'Amato, P1 and P2 on track, were also P1 and P2 in the Pro points, and could so easily have ended up with both cars on the grass, but Supremely fair racing from the both of them, and you can see just how hard Dario Carzo tried to get on terms with Daniel D'Amato, but D'Amato was having none of it. Every chance, every challenge was denied. And it went all the way to the checkered flag, but in the end it was D'Amato P1, Carzo P2, Vezzoni P3 across the line. Here, the race 2 classification then in the pro category. First of all, Daniel D'Amato takes the win from Dario Carzo and Bjorn Grossman, with Alex Martin P4 and Constantino Bertuzzi P5. So it's going to be very, very exciting as we head to the final round in Abu Dhabi. Here, the AM classification then. Vezzoni takes the win from Martin Nelson and Alexis Di Bernardi. It's going to be fantastic to see Alexis Di Bernardi up on the podium, taking P3. Then it was Roca, Strata, Gitlin, Hedman, Giannoni, Perez Compact and Strata. Okay, let's head up to the podium now and see those drivers celebrating. So the podium awaits as darkness begins to fall here at the Istanbul Park circuit. And a great shot there of, you can see how uphill and downhill some of the sections are on this 5.3 kilometer circuit here at Istanbul Park. And there a shot off of turn 14 down the start-finish straight. So we can hear the track announcer welcoming the drivers up towards the podium, and lots of people are waiting that as well. We always get 2 podiums, one for the pro category and one for the AM category as well. Don't forget the Finale Mondiali, the World Finals, and the end of the Ferrari Challenge for 2014. It's Abu Dhabi at the Yas Marina circuit between the 3rd and the 6th of December. It's when the championships will reach their conclusion, as we see Daniel D'Amato, Dario Carzo and Bjorn Grossman up there on the podium, and a national anthem will play out for Daniel D'Amato. So as the national anthem plays out, P1, P2 and P3 up there on the podium in the pro category. And brilliant racing from that man, Daniel D'Amato, in denying P2 man Dario Carzo, finding a way through. Bjorn Grossman collects the P3 trophy, as Andrea Reggiani, the head of Ferrari Corsa Clienti, makes the trophy presentations to Dario Carzo, and now to Daniel D'Amato, who cements his position just a little bit at the top of the TropheoPirelli Pro category. And here comes the Pirelli trophy for Daniel D'Amato as well. He's got a fair old mantelpiece at home for all the trophies, I can tell you. Bravo to that man. So they all pose for the photographs. Supreme racing from Dario Carzo and Daniel D'Amato. Absolutely superb. So a bit of spraying going on now before we get to the Dario's a little bit disappointed with the fizz that's available in the bottle. We'll have the AM podium also, which will feature Alessandro Vezzoni, Martin Nelson and Alexis Di Bernardi. Here then, the Pro Drivers' Championship. There's 10 points in it with 2 races left between Daniel D'Amato and Dario Carzo, and Alex Martin's on 143 points in P3. So, Yas Marina, 3rd to the 6th of December, you cannot afford to miss it. It is the conclusion of the Pro Drivers' Championship and the Ferrari Challenge, which will come in Abu Dhabi at the big Ferrari World Finals, the Finale Mondiale it's called. Make sure you join us for that. All the information about it, corsaclienti.com. That's the website for you to check it out. Here's the AM Drivers' Championship, and that is going to go all the way as well now, because Vezzoni, by taking that win and non-finish from Ezequiel Perez Companc, means that that's closed up to just 21 points. So Perez Companc P1, Vezzoni P2, Strata P3. Then it's Giannone, Roca, Gitlin, Kukuka, Sam Smith, Florian Merckx and David Kostner in the AM Drivers' Championship. And let's get the AM podium underway now, as we welcome Alexis Di Bernardi, Martin Nelson and Alessandro Vezzoni. The national anthem will play for Vezzoni. Someone somewhere is just waiting to press play on the CD player, and they've clearly forgotten. So the national anthem is absent currently, as they are rapidly trying to rectify that situation. Vezzoni not offering to sing, as you will note, as he's in discussion there with Alexis Di Bernardi, and here it is. And the national anthem plays out then, eventually, as they put another 50p in the jukebox. Once again, the head of course, Clienti, Andrea Reggiani, makes the trophy presentation. First of all, to Alexis Di Bernardi, then to Martin Nelson, as Nicky Kadai there looks on, and to Alessandro Vezzoni. So, some fantastic racing and podium celebrations there being enjoyed by all. So, as the drivers all pose for the photographs, please, may I remind you that the Ferrari Challenge reaches its conclusion at the World Finals, the Finale Mondiale in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, 3rd to the 6th of December. Check it out at corsaclienti.com. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that race as much as we did, and we'll see you in Abu Dhabi.